Good morning, students. In this video we will study about the parts of a flower, that what are the different parts of a flower. So each flower normally has four floral whorls, that is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So in previous class we had discussed about what is flower, what are the four different floral whorls, what are the different floral appendages present in any flower. So these are the four different floral whorls, that sepals, petals, stamen and carpel. So first we'll start with the calyx. So the calyx is the outermost whorl of the flower and the members are called sepals. So this calyx, it is the outermost whorl of any flower and it consists of sepals. So one single individual unit is known as sepal and all the sepals of a flower is collectively known as calyx. So in this diagram you can see that these wing like, the green color wing like structures, these are all calyx. So one unit is known as sepal and all the sepals of a flower is collectively known as calyx. Generally sepals are green leaf like and protect the flower in the bud stage. So generally what we see that these sepals, they are green in color and they are leaf like structure. And what is the main function of these sepals? So they protect the flower in the bud stage. What is the meaning of bud stage? So when any flower will not open, so before opening of that flower, so they remain present in a bud stage. So this is a bud of rose flower. So when this rose flower will not open, so before the opening of rose flower, so this rose flower, it will remain protected by this green structure and these green structures are known as what? Sepal. The calyx may be gamosepalous or polysepalous. So we have to remember the meaning of gamosepalous and polysepalous. Gamo means fuse and poly means several or many. So when the sepals, they will remain fused, they will remain united. So such condition is known as gamosepalous. And when the sepals, they will remain free from each other, so such condition is known as polysepalous. So this gamosepalous polysepalous word is very important. So this is the diagram of gamosepalous flower. So in this diagram you can see that sepals, they are fused with each other, and this is the diagram of polysepalous condition in which the sepals, they are free from each other. So such condition is known as polysepalous condition. Now come to the corolla. So what is corolla? So corolla is composed of petals. Petals are usually brightly colored to attract insects for pollination. So corolla, just like calyx, corolla consists of petals. Calyx was composed of sepals. In same manner, these corolla, they are made up of petals. So one unit is known as petal. One brightly colored wing-like structure is known as petal. All the petals of a flower is known as corolla. And petals are usually brightly colored. And why these petals, they are brightly colored? To attract insect for pollination. So what is pollination? So simply transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. So this is known as pollination. So corolla consists of petals. So this one individual brightly colored wing-like structure, so this is known as petal, and all the petals of a flower is collectively known as corolla. And what is the function of these brightly colored petals? So they attract insect, and due to which pollination takes place in flower. So like calyx, corolla may also be gamopetalous or polypetalous. So when we say that corolla is gamopetalous, so gamo means fused. So when the petals, they will remain united or fused, so such condition is known as gamopetalous condition. When the petals, they will remain free from each other, so such condition is known as polypetalous condition. So this diagram you can see that this is the polypetalous condition, this is the gamopetalous condition. If the petals, they will remain free from each other, so such condition is known as polypetalous. So these all petals, they are not fused with each other, they are free, So that's why they are polypetalous. But on the other hand, in this diagram you can see that all the petals, they are fused together, so that's why it is known as gamopetalous condition. The shape and color of corolla vary greatly in plants. Corolla may be tubular, bell-shaped, funnel-shaped or wheel-shaped. Now we can categorize flower on the basis of the shape of corolla, on the basis of the color of corolla. We can categorize flower into different categories such as the tubular corolla, that any flower may be of tubular corolla. In any flower the corolla may be of bell shaped, funnel shaped or wheel shaped. So there are different types of flowers on the basis of the color of the corolla and on the basis of the shape of corolla. So for example, in this diagram you can see that there are 13 different types of corolla on the basis of the what is the shape of corolla. So you can see that we can categorize flower into this basis also. Now come to a very important topic, which is the estivation. So this is very important topic, estivation. So how we can define estivation? So it is related with the petals and sepals topic. So the definition of estivation is the mode of arrangement of sepals or petals in floral bud with respect to the other members of the same whorl is known as estivation. So this is the definition of estivation. Once again we will see that the mode of arrangement of sepals or petals means either we can see the mode arrangement of sepals or petals. So this estivation is either the arrangement of sepals or the arrangement of petals in floral bud with respect to the other members of the same whorl. So what is the position of one individual petal or one individual sepal with respect to the other petals of the whorl? So that is known as estivation. So the mode of arrangement of sepals or petals in floral bud with respect to the other members of the same whorl is known as estivation. So mainly there are four different types of estivation given in NCERT book, and these are volvate estivation, twisted estivation, imbricate estivation and waxillary estivation. In other side book also you will get one more type of estivation, which is the quinquential type of estivation, but NCERT book there are four different types of estivation is given. So here also we will study only those four different types of estivation. And what are these four different types of estivation? Once again we will see that volvate estivation, twisted estivation, imbricate estivation and waxillary estivation. So in this diagram all the four types of estivation is given. So this is the volvate estivation, this is the twisted estivation, this is the imbricate and this is the waxillary estivation. So you can see that arrangement of petals or it may be sepals on a floral bud with respect to the other members of the same whorl is known as estivation. So one by one we will discuss the different types of estivation. So first we will start with the volvate estivation. So when sepals or petals in a whorl just touch one another at the margin without overlapping, as in calotropis, it is said to be volvate estivation. So in volvate estivation what will happen? The sepals, or suppose that consider here that we are considering that petals. So if the petals, they will just touch one another at the margin without overlapping, so such type of estivation is known as volvate estivation, and example is calotropis. So this is the volvate estivation. So in volvate estivation you can see that, so these petals, they are only marginally they are touching the other petal, they are not overlapping the adjacent petals. So such type of estivation is known as volvate estivation, and we have to remember the example also. So what is the example of volvate estivation? Calotropis, which is commonly known as aquan plant. Now we will discuss about the second type of estivation, which is the twisted estivation. So what is the definition of twisted estivation? So if one margin of the appendage overlap that of the next one, and so on, as in China rose, lady's finger and cotton. It is called as twisted estivation. So as the name suggests, twisted. So in twisted type of estivation, what will happen? So these petals, so they will overlap the next petal, and the next petal they will overlap the next petal, and so on. So this type of estivation is known as twisted estivation. So in this diagram you can see that all the petals they are overlapping each other. So such type of estivation is known as twisted estivation. So suppose that this is a one individual petal, so one end of this petal it is outside and the other end is inside. In this petal also we can observe that one side, this particular end is outside and this particular end is inside. Similarly, in all the different types of petals you can observe this same pattern. So all the petals of a flower they will overlap each other. So such type of estivation is known as twisted estivation. And example is lady's finger, china rose, cotton. So all these are the example of twisted estivation. Now we'll come to the next type of estivation, which is the imbricate estivation. So if the margins of sepals or petals overlap one another but not in any particular direction, as in cassia and gulmohar, the estivation is called as imbricate estivation. So in imbricate estivation, what we observe that there is no any particular pattern of overlapping of the petals or sepals. So such type of estivation is known as imbricate estivation. So we can also say that out of 5 petals, so one petal, so by mistake I have pasted the diagram of twisted estivation here. So in imbricate estivation what will happen? So there will be no any particular manner of overlapping of petals and sepals. So such type of estivation is known as imbricate estivation, and example will be cassia and gulmohar. Now come to the last type of estivation, which is also known as the papilionaceous estivation. So in pea and bean flower there are 5 petals. So the largest petal is known as the standard petal, which will overlap the two lateral petals which are known as the wings, and which in turn overlap the two smallest interior petals which is known as keel. So this type of estivation is known as maxillary estivation, and such type of corolla is known as papilionaceous corolla. So this is very important word. So some directly in NEET exam question will come that what is papilionaceous corolla, in which plant we can see the presence of papilionaceous corolla. So answer will be the in pea plant, in bean plant we can see the presence of papilionaceous corolla. What is papilionaceous corolla? So in papilionaceous corolla, so there will be 5 petals. How many petals will be there? So there total 5 petals will be there, and the largest petal will be known as the standard petal. So this is the largest petal, you can see that, and this largest petal they will enclose the inner 2 petal. So these 2 petals are the wing which is enclosed by the largest petal which is known as standard, and further these wings they will also enclose the 2 petals which are known as keel. So these two petals are the keel. So such type of corolla is known as papilionaceous corolla. So I hope it is clear that what is papilionaceous corolla, and such type of arrangement of petals or sepals is known as maxillary estivation. So I hope it is clear what is maxillary estivation and what is papilionaceous corolla. So what is maxillary estivation? So there will be 5 petals. The largest petal is known as standard, which will overlap the two lateral petals. And what is the name of these two lateral petals? They are known as wings. And these wings they also overlap the two smallest interior petals. And what is the name of these two interior petals? So they are known as keel. So this type of estivation, this type of arrangement of petals is known as maxillary estivation, and such type of corolla is known as papilionaceous corolla. And example is it is seen in that bean plant and mohair plant. So once again we will revise that what is estivation and what are the different types of estivation. So how we can define this estivation? So the mode of arrangement of sepals or petals in floral bud with respect to the other members of the same wall. Means what is the position of one individual petal or sepal with respect to the other petals or sepals in the whorl. So this arrangement is known as estivation, and there are four different types of estivation: valvate estivation, twisted estivation, imbricate estivation, and waxillary estivation. So this is the diagram of imbricate estivation. So in imbricate estivation, you can see that there is no any particular manner of overlapping of petals. So out of 5 petals, that one petal, this petal, it will remain completely inside. Means both the side, both the end of the petal, it will be overlapped. It will remain inside, and one petal will remain completely outside this petal. So the end of both the end of this petal, it is completely outside, and rest 3 petals, they will overlap each other. So such type of estivation is known as imbricate estivation. So this much only in this video. In next video we will discuss about the other two important parts of flower, which is the androecium and gynoecium. So you just watch this video and you take note. Thank you. Have a nice day.